Okay, everybody. Here's the deck profile. So like I said, I was playing Draco Slayers today at this case tournament up in Georgia. And I got ninth place in it. So let me just go ahead and go through the main deck. Um, this is a very different build from all the other ones I've seen. So I just had to take my little tech in it, and I was testing it out, play testing hands. I didn't play against anybody really, but here you go. So let's speed through this part because everybody knows if they watched any Draco Slayer deck profile, they've seen these guys. So the main Draco Slayer is 3 Luster, 3 Majesty, 3 Dynamite, and 3 Ignis Draco Slayer. Um, you have to play 3 of each of these except for 2 Master. Master is just the vanilla that pops in the scale, and it's a low scale, scale 3. Um, so basically, if you have this or this in hand, you have full combo. Or if you have this and this in hand, you have full combo. So it's really good. And then throughout that entire thing, you end up getting this. Mainly, you get this if you have the Majesty and the Ignis. But you have another full combo without this if you opened it. But that the Ignis is really powerful. It's really underrated as one of the secret rares in the set. This really makes the deck go. It's like Perform H plus Fire, in a sense where if it's destroyed, basically like by Luster or any of them, special summon a Dracoslayer as a tuner onto the field. So it's really good. Although the best card in the deck. It's the one that basically saves my ass. Searching Necro Valley or Zombie World or any field spell really I need in that specific matchup. And also, I didn't know about this until earlier this week. But if I have another Draco Slayer scale, this is really key for everybody. You can search any of the Draco Slayers in your deck, and then you can pop any scale, either herself or another one. So in tandem, this is really good because if you have this as the other scale, you can pop this and then trigger its other effect, and you can add this instead, and then put this, and then what the Dynamite guy does is that if I have a Draco Slayer in the other scale, I can target it and special summon it onto the field, so it triggers this effect as well. So there's so much utility in this deck, it's crazy. Luster might be the worst one to be honest, but it's still really good with the Ignis and with the Dynamite. Dynamite's just generally good in this deck. So yeah, there's so many combo lines. I might show you some after I'm done with the deck profile. But let's see here. All right, now on to the non-Draco Slayer Pendulum cards. 3 Odd Eyes Revolution, clutch. 2 Perform Past Skull Corbats, and 1 Astrograph. Astrograph's stable just because I'm popping stuff anyways. So if someone's destroyed, I'm special summoning it. It's really busted. Performer Pal. All I have him for is the normal summon to search out my searcher. Like, this searches out Luster and Master. So this is essentially 3 more Luster or 3 more Master, if you know, in deck theory, ratio theory. He's also a light monster too, which is really good in tandem with some other cards I have in my deck. And also, this is basically Ignister Prominence. There's a monster reborn for Ignister. So it's really good. It came in clutch. It happened twice today that I reborn Ignister for another effect. But let's move on. Now on to the tech that I had today that was different than everybody else's. I played 3 Kashtira Fenrir and 1 Kashtira Unicorn. The night before, me and my teammate Trey Faircloth, shout out, he helped me out with deck theory before, so that way I could make sure I was good to go. And we were talking about the Kashtiras because it's completely different from what we have as far as deck building with the Draco Slayers. And before the other day, I was playing 3 Fenrir and 2 Unicorn and 1 of the Kashtira spell. But then him and I talked it over, and we thought that just 3 Fenrir and 1 Unicorn was good, and no spell, because the spell's going to be useless half the time. And I also figured out another way to make Diablosis in this deck without having to rely on the spell card or anything like that. Because also, as you guys probably noticed, Astrograph is a level 7 as well. But this is a rare occurrence. I did it more with just these guys. So I can probably go over the combo regardless later. So that's it for those. Then on to the hand traps. 3 Drew Swarm, 3 Bell, and 3 Imperm. So Trey also helped me out with figuring out hand trap ratios. This deck and most of the deck profiles I've watched, they don't run hand traps at all. If anything, they run Magnamut so they can search dragons. But to me, I feel like playing Magnamut and searching a dragon's kind of useless because the deck's already consistent as is. So I don't need to keep searching like Odd Eyes Revolution or Draco, Master Pendulum or Luster. So I just feel like it's useless. But then I read Drew a Swarm over again because I never really used these cards. So I read it over. And I realized that whenever it leaves the field period, it can bounce one of the special summon monsters in your opponent's field. So I'm always using this as like a link material so I can make Beyond the Pendulum. And then it makes Beyond the Pendulum Chain Link 1, and this is Chain Link 2 if they have a special summon monster. So I'm essentially chain blocking that too. So it's kind of lit. Ghost Bell, you know, the meta, it's just really good against really practically everything. I might change this. To be honest. I might just play 3 Ash. Ash is just too good and generic in this format. So I don't know. I'm thinking about it. And then 3 Imperm. Imperm was my effect Veiler. You know, another cool thing too about most of this deck is that there's not a lot of light and darks. It's more like earth and like all the different elements like earth, wind. Like there's only like a couple lights and darks, but overall they're not really. None of them are really hitting the graveyard too because I'm playing pendulums. So yeah, so that's it for the hand traps. It's just 9 hand traps. I might bump it up, but onto my spells. Power 1-ofs. Just Rhoda and Called By. Rhoda is for that Ignis guy, and then Called By. My field spell targets for today. Sky Iris, Zombie World, and Necro Valley. This put in so much work. This was literally the reason why I won like all 3 of my matches. It was a 5-round tournament. I won X2. So if that tells you anything, I mean, I got 9th place, but it was cool. Yeah, Sky Iris. I didn't really use Sky Iris much. I was going to, but then dude like basically like Ghost Maiden me and negated my effect, so I couldn't do it. Zombie World was for flu. Yeah. Let's not talk about that. And then Necro Valley, like I said, Necro Valley put in so much work today for me. And then on to these. I was playing a Ghost second build mainly, to be honest. That's why I'm playing 9 hand traps and these guys. Triple Tax put in work. It helped me draw into the cards I needed to draw to keep my combos going. And Dark Ruler put in work too for a little while there. So yeah, that's my main deck. It was 42 cards. I might trim it. I might change a couple things. I don't know. It's a lot of testing. And notice you guys, I didn't play Bambuku. So this is why this is a different build. And I wasn't playing like Baron build or anything. But I'm going to be changing it. It was a good experiment. Glad I could do somewhat decent. Well, on to the extra deck. This is the Spice. So the Exes was Magister, Diablosis, and then Red Eyes Flare Metal. I didn't go into this at all. I would have only went into it if I had like time, like to go into time, but I never needed to. Diablosis, I went into this twice actually in one match against Despia. I literally blind went into this with the Kashtiras and looked at dude's extra deck, and he only played 1 Lubellion. So I banished his 1 Lubellion, and all he could do was Albion. And then I did it again the very next turn on his Dracoslayer. So it was really cool to actually utilize the Diablosis for the first time today. It was really nice. Other Exes, Dweller, surprise, I did not go into this once today at all. I didn't need to. It was really cool, but like I really didn't need to go into it. Hope Harbinger, Zeus, and Baguska. Went to Baguska, that didn't last long, but it did stop in one of the rounds. It did stop a guy from playing, and it let me set up for next turn. Zeus, I actually went to Zeus and I forgot I even had an extra deck. It was nice. I did not go into this at all because most of the time, if I had the materials to make this, I was winning the game already. I didn't need it. Now onto the pendulums. I played 2 Beyond. Beyonds are really good, to be honest. I like how the search is not once per turn, but I never went into that. I like how it's a link too, so that way I could go and do other plays with this card as well. So it was really nice. I like the whole search any pendulum aspect. IP package. This is honorary IP package too. So what I would do, right, is that I would go into Beyond the Pendulum, and most times I had other monsters on board. Like I had at least 3 other monsters on the board at the time. So if I had nothing else to do, nothing else to like play at the end of my turn, basically, I would just link 2 and make IP. So that way I have 2 choices, right? I either go into Unicorn because link 2, and I'll just treat this as a link 1 and make Unicorn if I had cards in hand that I could actually get rid of to interrupt plays, or I went into Apo to have a 2 material Appaloosa. A lot of people were playing like the Herratic Seal. I would have played Herratic Seal and Sloth, but I couldn't find them in time, so I just had to make do with what I had. So yeah, that's it for the links. And then, you know, standard Draco stuff. I've seen some list play 2 of them. I only need 1. I only went into him a couple times. This guy, MVP, of course, you know. I'm so glad that he's at 2 because I remember playing him when he was at 1, and it was a pain in the ass. But now that Odd Eyes Revolution exists, he's basically infinite. He's like 4 more copies, basically. Or 5 more because there's 3 Odd Eyes, but you know what's up. But, and then, so that's it for the extra deck, of course. I'm going to go into the side deck that I had today. I think the side deck actually did put in some work. It's just that some of the things I didn't see, like, for instance, I didn't see this at all today. I was very, very prepared to be using this a lot because I also had these too. So if I was going second, I was going to side I sided all these in just so I could interrupt them, and this was my going into time card. I might switch this for Dogwoods, to be honest, because I never see this, and I feel like Dogwood might just be better because it automatically does something instead of having to wait for them to leave the field. Siding Ashes, me and Trey came up with the idea of just siding this against the specific matchups like Flu, and then, to be honest, I think this is still good against Tier Element, but that's just me. Like, literally, if they try to chain block something, like, this is still useful no matter what happens, right? So if they, like, mill like Kelbeck or, you know, a Guido or something like that, I can just chain that, and it'll stop the milling. But it really just depended on the chain block, because, like, in tandem, I would play this and Maiden in the same deck at the time, so those were the hand traps for the side. My one-of spells, Change of Heart, Secret Village, and Harpies. Well, Harpies is really in tandem with the Cosmics to have my 4 back row removal. I didn't see this at all. I never needed to use Secret Village. Only reason I even cited it was for against like the random Runic player, because it just shuts them down completely. Like, they cannot play the game. And they wouldn't even be able to run over any of my spellcasters because they couldn't even play at all. So, yeah. But I never played Runic today. And then the last bit, my 3 traps, 3D Barrier. Love these bad boys going first against any matchup, basically, because, like, none of this hurts me at all. Like, I flip this on their turn and nothing happens. So, it's really good. Overall, I think the deck played very well. The only changes I would actually have, to be honest, if I were to keep the same exact main deck list, really it would be the extra deck, because I would keep Diablosis, I'd get rid of Red Eyes Flare Metal and replace with Herratic Seal, because the moments I could have played with Herratic Seal were so many times. And then also probably in the main deck, I will more than likely just get rid of Kashtira Unicorn and replace it with a Sloth. Because Fenrir did the same job for me that I wanted Unicorn to do, but I was able to just figure out a way to just make Diablosis and force out the extra card instead of waiting for them to activate like Havness or something. So now I will go into a combo portion. I will just shuffle up my deck randomly. I'll just show you like an example of what I was doing today. So hold on one bit. All right, so we're back. So I just paused so I could table shuffle. So now I'm just gonna actually shuffle. You're gonna see me do a couple of these, just so you can see that I'm not staging it. You know, a couple more of these. All right, and then one more. Opponent cuts. All right, so. All right, we're starting out. Well, we're already starting out great. Okay. And wow, amazing. So you would think, damn, Jordan, this is not really that great of a hand. But the fact that we started out with this automatically makes it a great hand. And then we still have the Revolution Dragon as well to keep us going. So what's going to happen right now, right, is that you're going to place the scales. You're not even going to activate Revolution yet, to be honest. Because that's kind of like ash bait, because you'll just see. So what you do, you don't do Luster, you do the Majesty first. You do Majesty to search. In this particular situation, you would actually search out Ignis, right? So Ignis was the plush fire, remember? So what happens is that I can just pop the Majesty over here, okay? Now, you set Ignis in the scale. You activate Luster to pop the Ignis, to search Ignis. Okay. And then Ignis will trigger to special summon a Dracoslayer from the deck and treat it as a tuner. So what you do is that you'd special summon out the Majesty, right? Majesty's effect on summon is to search for a field spell and discard a card. So in essence, you go first. You're searching out Necro Valley, no matter who you're playing against, because you probably don't know, but we're going with the meta here, so it's Necro Valley. So you have to discard a card, right? So what you're going to do is that you're going to discard this Ignis. The reason why you discard the Ignis is because just in case you play the Fusion to bring back a Dracoslayer. Plus he's fire, so you don't need to worry about like a Bestial. So next thing you do, you make him feel like you don't have it. So you activate Odd Eyes, and you search out the other master. Actually, no, you don't even do that. You just search out Luster. I'm stupid. So that way you can have tuner plays, even though she's a tuner already. So you set master in the scale. And then you haven't even normal summoned yet, right? Actually, no. You wouldn't search this. Yeah, you're right, guys. Sorry about that. You would search the Dynamite. So instead of searching that Luster that I did, you would search the Dynamite, right? Because Luster is not generic, because you have to summon out Dracoslayer, and he's a tuner. But the reason why you do is that you pop the Luster, and then you scale out Dynamite, right? Still have a normal summon. Activate the Dynamite effect to special summon out Master. Master happens, right? So that now you have food for Beyond the Pendulum. Okay. Beyond the Pendulum will trigger on summon. So you'll pay your 1,200 and then you'll search any pendulum that you want. So in this case, what you want to add this again. Reason why is that you want to follow up for next turn so you're able to search, because chances are they don't pop your scales. Okay. So you set scale again, and then you pendulum out too. So what you do is you pendulum out Draco, and you pendulum out him. Okay? Alright. So, what you do now, depending on how the line of play you're trying to do here, you want follow-up, right? So you summon out, I would summon it right here, so that way you have your two spaces. One Magister, activate the end phase effect so you can search any pendulum at the end of the turn. Okay. So then you detach your one and special summon out Ignis, right? Okay. So you have that. So what you could do, depending on what you're actually playing against, this is when you have to make the choice of, do you just stick to what you have, or do you make your IP Masquerena play? Me, personally, I would still make the IP Masquerena play. Just to have follow-up. Okay. And then you would play Necro Valley. And then in phase, you search any pendulum. So in this case, you still have those. So what you want, just in case they blow up your stuff, you want to search out Astrograph. So that way you have a special summon body for the next turn. Okay. So with that, it doesn't seem that impressive, right? But this is also a going first board that sets you up with against the meta. It either makes an Apo or it makes a Nightmare Unicorn based on what you see on the field. And then you also still have a Ghost Spell. So it's really like, it's either a 2 Monster Negate, Necro Valley, Body, and potentially another Search if they blow these up. And Bell. So that's one, either 2, 3, or 3, depending on what you go with. 4, 5 interruption type of board. Okay, and then not to mention you still have pendulum monsters in your extra deck, so you still have plays. You have follow up for next turn because you can do this every turn as long as you have a Dracoslayer, and then same thing with that. So they kill my stuff, blah blah blah. I draw for turn. Oh look, tactics. Wow, they kill my stuff. I still special summon out. Then I can search. So I mean, you just whatever, like blah. I don't know, like that. So you would really just search a missing piece, like Lester, and you'd pendulum summon again because that's the other good use of the other Beyond the Pendulum. So, but yeah, that's just one combo, guys. I hope I didn't bore you with my theory of my play style. But that's just that's just one of the examples of the type of plays I did today. But like I said, I would probably change things so that way I could end on like Heavenly Spear and Sloth type of plays. Now I'm not gonna bore you guys with another combo, but just know that the Kashtiras are actually good because as you saw in my combo, there wasn't any normal summoning going on. So if you have Fenrir, you start Fenrir, you search the other Fenrir, you do your Dracoslayer plays, and then you normal summon the other Fenrir and make Diablosis. You make a Diablosis and you look at their extra deck and take their stuff. You also get knowledge that they have no hand traps. So, yeah. That's the deck profile and combo, guys. I hope you enjoyed. Let me subscribe to Airfare Gaming. Look at our Shopify site. The link will be down in the description below. You could get a playmat like this. It's really soft, really nice. Yeah, but we have a bunch of other playmats out there. We recently got the Yugi Vuitton design going. And also, since it's about to be wintertime, we also got hoodies, y'all. So just check it out. Hit us up in the comments, and deuces.